love lessons and wordgasms. I am your host, Renee Mazer, and this is
Beth Rosen, the other host.
And we are both Wharton grads, Ivy League law grads, and we do comedy. And we are both relationship experts. My expertise comes from having dated so many people and making so many mistakes that I am now an expert. And if you are between the ages of 30 and 65 and you're a man, you probably dated me.
and my expertise comes from studying relationships in a school that I went to, and because I have rejected so many of these people. The chances are if you're between 30 and 60, I haven't dated you.
That's fair. Last week, I promised that we were going to do my poem on fairy tales this week and talk about fairy tales. Careful what you wish for, or, should you be trying to, make your dreams come true and all of that. That's what this week's show is going to be on. I'm going to start with asking Beth, what is the fairy tale? It's a no-brainer, but let's be straightforward before we start the discussion.
Well, the research and experience shows that for men, it's a trophy wife, your little arm candy, good-looking, sweet, not NutraSweet sweet, but sweet. And for the women, it's Prince Charming, good-looking, rich, very, very doting, and comes to rescue you. But that is changing in the 21st century as women like us get more independent because we rescue ourselves. So we're the Cinderella story, and the male is looking for that sleeping beauty. Although the reality is, that's a crock.
Well, we'll talk about that. We're not there yet. We're just talking. This is what the fantasy is.
Yes.
The next question is, does it exist?
Yes, it exists. Of course, it exists. Look at us. We're the fairy tale for the guys. Smart.
See? I forgot to notice, by the way. I don't know if you've been watching the other two shows, but I talked about how people look way sexier when they're wearing red. So, guys, are you freaking out right now? Am I crazy hot because I'm wearing red today? See, the fantasy.
Well,
I'm
not.
Am I your fairy tale? All right. So you're saying that it exists, and my whole point on this topic is that not only doesn't the fairy tale exist, but it's extremely harmful. I think what destroys relationships and destroys people's happiness is all of the fairy tales that they watched or read when they were little kids, because they picked up all of these beliefs about what being an adult was going to be like. That for women, they're going to be rescued by a wealthy, gorgeous guy and live happily ever after. And for men, they're going to find a beautiful young, maiden, and they're going to live happily ever after. And that belief system absolutely kills adult happiness, because no matter who you marry, it's going to be settling from that ideal.
Well, I disagree. I think you need a reality check as to what the fantasy is after you get married, the happily ever after. You have to work at it. But if you don't aspire to it, what's the point? I mean, the reason the fairy tale is there, and the reason that all those stories exist, is because people fell in love in habit and wrote from that experience. So if you don't aspire to it, you're not going to get it. I mean, I personally think that chemistry, and as long as he's rich, or I'm rich or powerful, it can exist, but for better or worse is a conscious choice. You have to work at it. But we'll get into that later.
What I want to mention is that those fairy tales end at the marriage. Sleeping Beauty, he kisses her. End of story. Cinderella, he gets the glass slipper and they get married. End of story. Beauty and the Beast, he becomes gorgeous or something and they dance around the ballroom and they get married and that's the end of the story. But the whole point is that when you end at the marriage, you aren't really seeing whether or not it led to happily ever after.
Well, by the way, most marriages that fail end before the marriage. All those doubts walking down the aisle, but we can get into that later too. I definitely think there's a problem, and I think that you need a reality check. But you should realize if you're marrying the right guy before you walk down that aisle. I mean, you need to know if you're madly in love or not, and if what you have can carry that marriage. Respect, love, patience. I know you're getting mad at me because
I'm gonna puke. Listeners going,
well, you know what? I will say this. I did a comic spoof, a web series on chasing fairy tale, Tail, that pokes fun of living happily ever after. So I do have a little bit of your cynical view, and probably because I'm divorced.
I know you found your prince. How happy did it make you? All right, now, I had told you about my poem because it pretty much sums up how I feel on this entire topic. I wrote it for the word deleterious, which means harmful, so that tells you where we're going with this. And here is that poem. Listen to the lyrics. They're very, very insightful, trenchant. All right, it goes. Fairy tales are deleterious. Don't laugh, I'm being serious. A handsome prince always rescues a damsel from strife. Little girls everywhere profess someday that will be their life. Then reality hits, and they realize that the men they are dating are just regular guys. They've got acne, they're not dashing, there's not a castle to be seen. A woman's chances are nil of ever being queen. So, ladies and little girls, put your fairy tales away at night. Don't get your hopes up, because reality bites. And that's how I feel about this.
Okay, I'm going to bite back.
Perfect.
I think you're too cynical. You're too cynical. Don't tell little girls not to aspire to Prince Charming. I mean, if you could marry that prince and you live happily ever after, go for it. I mean, at least aspire to it. Come on, too cynical. You're too cynical.
But isn't it harmful to have that belief that that's what you should be waiting for and that's what's out there? Because people have so many flaws. And the prince stories, if you follow them all the way to, death, which brings us kind of to the royal family. Because as I was thinking about this topic, I started researching the royal family and the women that did get their princes. And my mind just got stuck on Henry VIII and all of those queens, I guess, because he was a king, not a prince, who ended up without heads. And I'm thinking, that sums it up for me. And also, by the way, he wasn't all that attractive, so I don't think that, the sex was that good either.
Were you reincarnated? That could explain why you're so cynical,
Well, you go there, and then you look at the modern day stuff. Obviously, Diana's like the classic.
Yeah, but if you look at the research, they both had to be coaxed down the aisle. They both didn't want to get married. That's a problem with the relationship before they even reached the altar.
But that's my point. She was
Then
the
you shouldn't get
little girl's
married.
dream. They were all watching the wedding, and she looks so beautiful.
But that's not a dream, because in the fairy tale, you're madly in love, and the guy comes to rescue. He didn't want to be with her. How is that coming to rescue you?
But
Just because he's a prince
she had wanted him, and she got her prince. I mean, he did marry her. They did have kids. There was something going on there. All right, it's time for a commercial break now. We will be back in a few minutes. Do not go away.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more. Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Hi, and welcome back to Love Lessons and Wordgasms. I'm Renee, and this is Beth, and our topic today is fairy tales. And where we left off is with what's going to be my next question. Fairy tales. Careful what you wish for. If you get the handsome prince or the gorgeous young girl, are you going to live happily ever after? Or, careful what you wish for, or happily ever after. What are your thoughts?
I think you have to work at it, but there are some problems when you get married, and you have to kind of dispel the myths of what married life is going to be. I mean, one of the biggest myths out there is there's only one guy or one girl for me, but obviously there are billions of people on the planet. What does that mean?
I think that soulmate stuff is such crap. I mean, honest to God, whenever people talk about that, I'm like, oh, come on.
You know, when you can feel when it's your soulmate, it's that chemistry, is that magnetism that draws you in. But, you know, but I don't settle, you know? I mean, you've dated everybody. I rejected them. I'm not willing to settle. So I'm looking for my Prince Charming, you know, the real one. And I also think you have to deal with the fact that love is not, you know, there's this myth that love is all you need, and that is not true. You need respect. You need money so that you can pay your bills and go out and have fun. And you need emotional support. I think that people go into a marriage and say, I will never cheat on them, and they will never cheat on me. But let me read you the stats on that so that you get a little wake-up call. Okay, 30 to 60% of all married individuals will cheat. I mean, that's a huge number. And they won't tell their partner either.
Never? Like, it's really...
Some will never tell them, but 30 to 60% of all married individuals will cheat. Many people find a more suitable partner for marriage after they're married, and it's usually right after they're married. And men are more likely to cheat than women, although I don't know if that's applicable to you based on what I know of you. But
shh, don't get that out there. People will judge.
Everybody judges anyway. But as women become more independent and financially secure, they're more likely to cheat because they don't need to be rescued. They can rescue themselves. And here's something for the men that want the arm candy, that young girl. People under 30 are more likely to cheat. So, yeah, there's some support for your cynical outlook on life. Yeah.
All right, first of all, I want to make a comment about that love is all you need thing, because I like to believe, as the hippie chick that I am, that love is all you need, and you can live with hardly any money and be happy. But Aside from that, what I want to talk about next is one of the coolest things I learned from doing vocabulary programs. One of the most interesting facts. I would do a lot of etymology to go teach my words. And I taught the words wax and wane, which is connected to the moon waxing and waning. And as part of the research I did for those words, I learned about the word honeymoon and the origins and what it means. And it pretty much sums this all up. That word was developed in, I remember it being around the 1500s, I think it was the 1500s, okay? Mm-hmm. That the word honeymoon came into existence. And what it means, literally, is that the honeymoon period, that marriage is sweet like honey for one moon. So, etymologically, in the 1500s, people knew that marriage stayed sweet for 1 month. And we're still getting married. What the hell? Any thoughts?
I definitely don't think the honeymoon lasts. I am convinced of that based on experience, although I don't have as much experience as you, and I don't know who does.
I hope my mother doesn't watch the show. I really do.
But that romance, it has to be worked at, because the mystery and the excitement, it goes away when you're with the same person every day doing the same thing. I mean, the mundane can drive you insane. You're going to have to do things to get that mystery and excitement back. If you ever want that honeymoon period to sort of reignite itself, you're going to have to do some fireworks yourself. You're going to have to light that spark again. It takes effort.
At some point, we're going to talk about Helen Fisher's work and her whole thing about how, like, romantic love can only last at most, like, 4 to 7 years or something. And, like, when you meet someone and you're so attracted to them, you know, is it always inevitable that that's only going to last, like, 4 to 7 years, and then, you know, there's no way to keep it going?
Well,
I find that a really interesting topic, and I don't think I've ever been, like, really, you know, lusting after somebody for more than that, so I haven't disproved it yet.
Well, do you keep your space from them? I mean, if you're constantly in each other's space, you get sick of each other. Like, when I date, but I keep a lot of space and a lot of independence, and I don't go out all the time, and you sort of keep that mystery and that chemistry and the balance and the, oh, is he thinking about you, what's he doing? It keeps that magnetism alive.
That works if you're not married.
Well,
you know, you can only keep that, like, oh, I don't see him that much. We have all this, like, space and mystery going.
I know,
That's not going to happen if you're sitting there with 2 kids and, you know, you're doing the laundry and he's busy, like, you know, mowing the lawn. That, you know, that only works in, like...
That's why you should marry someone rich, so that you get someone to mow the lawn. You get a nanny to take care of the kids from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I give, I don't
That's
know.
like letting me cake.
No. If you have kids, you take care of them.
Marry rich, and then, like, you know, and get people to do all the, like, chores, and then you can,
Well,
you know.
yeah, that's my fantasy. Where's my prince? When I was in kindergarten, I went to marry a prince from Europe. Any shakers?
So, but it's like a fascinating, you know, scientifically it's all fascinating. Is how do you keep that going? And when I was writing one of my books, or, you know, doing this research, it does say that if you travel a lot and you're not together a lot, that expands the amount of time you're going to be in lust with somebody. So you're right on what you're saying.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. I mean, in my relationship, we were apart a lot, but I think I gave him too much space because he took it and ran away. I mean, we're still really, really good friends, but you have to be careful of giving too much space, because then the person can interpret that you're not interested, and vice versa. And then, you know, that 30 to 60% creeps in when you're not around, and normally when you're with someone, you can kind of quell those attractions. And I think it's okay to forgive yourself if you have feelings for someone else from time to time. That's natural. People are attracted to each other. You know, whether you act on it is another thing. I mean, it depends how intimately you're involved with your partner on many levels. Mm-hmm. And you know what? For me, they have to be fun and funny.
All right, it is time to take another commercial break, and we will be back in a few minutes.
Stay tuned.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When I was injured, I couldn't play basketball for my entire sophomore year.
After years of wear and tear, I knew something was seriously wrong with Deja's knee when the swelling wouldn't go down.
Young athletes are still growing. They need specialized care only available here at Dayton Children's.
I wanted the best care for Deja because I wanted her to return to the things that she loves to do, and that's basketball.
At Dayton Children's Sports Medicine, we're treating tomorrow's champions.
Right care.
Right now.
Right here.
Dayton Children's.
Just right for kids.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
Hello and welcome back to Love Lessons and Wordgasms. I am your host, Renee Mazer, and this is my co-host, Beth Rosen. And today's topic is fairy tales. We're getting to the end of it for today because it's going to be our Wordgasm session soon. Love that. But I want to just end with this. We were talking about careful what you wish for with the fairy tales. Will getting your Prince Charming or your beautiful young damsel make you happy? And I'm going to end with a thought on both of those topics for men and women to do at another show, but it's really important. There is a big downside to the beautiful woman. She's going to be more likely to cheat on you, and we'll talk about that in a whole other show. There is a big downside to the rich guy. They're more controlling, and rich people lie more, steal more, and cheat more. So at some point, we're going to do a show on those topics because they're really, really important. I will end this segment with something that I read this week. It's been in the news a lot because of some book, and I don't remember the author, and it's being reviewed everywhere. Some guy wrote this book, which put in there that as wealth increases, so does the suicide risk. So I'll end on that.
Miss Cynicism over here. I will tell you the reality of your Prince Charming can be he's either a mama's boy or he's an arrogant playboy. but he could also be a prince. He could be a prince. Don't.
And
don't
that
poo-poo
belief system
yet.
is why you're single.
That's why I'm not dating everyone, because I'm looking for the real prince. And money can actually open doors for you. So don't poo-poo it.
Mm-hmm.
You poo-poo it. I'm looking for it. Okay. And your arm candy, guys. You know, yes, she could be a cheating gold digger, but she can also have nothing to say. And after a while, what are you going to do when you go out to dinner besides text somebody else?
All right, so that was our fairy tale segment, and now into Wordgasm. This week's word is prosy, and the way to remember that word, which means commonplace, banal, dull, prosy. The way to remember it is that when you talk about poetry, you say it's either poetry or prose. Poetry is flowery and beautiful, and prose is ordinary, common, boring speech. So prosy,
like marriage, right?
pretty much. And the bigger vocabulary word for that is prosaic. If somebody is prosaic, they're dull, they're commonplace, they're boring. All right. Basically, I wrote a song for this word, as is Wordgasm, and it's of course shocking because all my songs are. But I want to talk about the concept behind it first. I am with somebody who was my dream guy looks-wise. I mean, he's the heavy metal rocker, he's big with the long hair, the black outfits, the daggers and the like dragon necklaces, and to me, I saw him and I was like, wow, right? Total turn on.
I would check out, just so you know.
I was like, I want that, okay? So, like, I get that, you know, and whenever I want to fool around and he starts to talk, I'm like, shh. You are taking the hotness right out of you. Shh.
I would just get up and
I'm like talking about his boss, and I'll be like, no.
And you keep going with it? I mean, if they open their mouth and there's nothing good that comes out of it, I just walk away. I mean,
walk away. I just shut them
how
off.
could fooling around be?
I'm like, just look good. Like, just stand there. You know, look big and imposing and tough and badass. That's all I want.
The good news is if we go out together, we're never going to have to worry about liking the same guy.
That is so totally true. But I wrote this song, actually, before I was even with him. But it really works because it's very true, I think. And it's also part of my cynicism. For the word prosy. All right? It goes like this. Oh, wait, and before I sing. After this week, we are going to get a house band to do the Wordgasm songs with music because I think they were taking the coolness out of my songs by having me sing them off key. They might be funny that way, but I want these songs to like be the songs that you sing along to in the car. And for that, we need musicians, and I am in a world of musicians, and I was at a 4th of July party and got all these guys willing to be our house band, so
Cool,
that's going to be
very
happening.
cool.
Okay? All right, so here we go. Okay. I don't want no poetry. I don't want no prose. Just want the stuff that makes me curl my toes. When you talk your prosy, you bore me half to death. Just do that thing you do so good and you can save your breath. Don't want no prose. Just get out of those clothes. Ordinary conversation doesn't make my juices flow. Shh. Getting kinky is what I propose.
Oh my God. That's all I have
And there
to
you
say.
go. I think there's a lot of wisdom to that, don't you?
To not speaking?
To the guy just looking good and being my object.
To me, that's not attractive. I don't find that attractive. Someone who can hold an intelligent conversation, who's got chemistry too, and they don't even have to be gorgeous. Like, I'm not attracted to the gorgeous guy that has nothing to say. I just don't feel anything because, I'm a talker.
Well, I do say this. I mean, this guy is a really brilliant guy, and he's a good conversationalist. It's just like when I want to, fool around, I don't want to start talking about work and, all that. Okay, and now we are going to end with one of Beth's original quotes from her book.
Yes, from The Spirit Within. And I have a chapter called, very, very topic-friendly, Sex, Marriage, and Humor. And the one that's applicable for this show, does a fairy tale exist? And the way to end it is, let me see what it is. Okay. Marriage is not a spectator sport. If you're watching from the sidelines, there's likely to be a substitution. Something to keep in mind.
Wise. So wise. All right, and we are done for this week. Please come back again next week and join us for Love Lessons and Wordgasms. And if you ever want to contact us, we would love to hear from you. So contact the station if you have any questions about any of our shows. And thank you.
Bye.